Hello Tigers and welcome to Wednesday warm-up activity. Before you go to warm-up activity, I'm going to give you some examples of how to do your warm-up. All right? How you're going to apply the skills we've been using to review place value in today's warm-up, because there might be some manipulatives that you're not familiar with. So stay here until you watch the preview of today's warm-up activity. On your warm-up activity, I just want to tell you real quick before you begin, if you see some base 10 blocks, you are to read the story problem and use base 10 blocks to solve. Think in your mind, am I adding or subtracting? And remember yesterday the strategies we used for base 10 blocks was subtracting, all right? So this says, Jaime built 428 new trees. He cuts down 210 trees to sell for houses. How many trees are left? So I'm going to build what happens first. We have 428. I'm going to model that in base 10 blocks. 400 he built. He cuts down. And I know if I cut down trees, I don't have them anymore, right? Sadly. He cuts down 210. All right? So I'm not going to add 210 because he cut them down. I need to understand that. So he cuts them down. That means he gets rid of. So I'm going to get rid of 200s, and I'm just going to put them on top of these trees. 200s, 110, and 0 ones. This is what he gets rid of, right? How many trees are left? So the number that are left are what you have left that you didn't remove. You removed 210, and you see that right here, right? I'm showing my thinking. And so the number I have left is this, 200s, 110, and 8 ones. All right? That's how I would like you to do these type of problems using base 10 blocks. Warm up today. We're not going to the warm up yet. There's a few things you're going to have to do. Watch. Another type of strategy you'll see is using a number line. All right. I still need to read the problem first. Daisy planted seeds in the yard. She planted 65 pink flowers, or pink seeds, and 23 red flower seeds. All right. I notice on the number line, I already have the number 65. How many total seeds did Daisy plant? I need to add how much to 65? 65 represents the pink flower seeds, so that's already there. I need to add, and you see these numbers here, right? So how many 10s am I going to add? I'm going to add 2 10s because in the number 23, I have 2 10s. They're showing you how you can use a number line. So I'm going to add 10 2 times. So 65, 75, 85. I am now on my number line, I have 85. Do you see that? Am I done? No, I still need to add 3 ones. So I can show that on the number line by simply dragging this. 85 plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. So I can say 85, 86, 87, 88. So that's how you would use a number line to add using the manipulatives they gave you here. You might not be familiar with these, but I just showed you how you use them. I didn't add any hundreds, huh? So I just broke down what I'm adding, the number 23, 2 10s, 3 1s. Do you see that? Pretty cool, right? And then, of course, you're going to add your answer there. Pretty cool tools, yeah? I think so, too. That's why we're practicing this new tool that's going to be very helpful. Let's see if we have any other examples before you go to warm up today. So on some of your activities, you're going to notice that you are going to be comparing some values. And I want to show you how you can use that, do that using the manipulatives that they gave you. So let's read the story. City Park is where people go to have a picnic. 48 people had picnics on Friday last year. 48 people on Friday. 169 had picnics on Saturday. So this number that is already on the number line is on Saturday. Right? So I'm just going to put a little S right there. They also told me 48 had them. And so they want to know. This is Friday. 48 people had them Friday. How many more families had picnics on Saturday than Friday? So what I'm really looking for is this distance between these two numbers, or the difference, right? And that's this space right here. So a really cool way to do that is to use the same strategy we used to add. We're going to go back. We're going to start at 169, and we're going to see the difference to 48. All right? So I know that I can go back on the number line using these arrows that they provided me. Let me make sure my drag tool is on. So if I go back, if I start at 169 and go back 100, I'm going to take away 100, right? I'm going to go back. So I will be at 69 on the number line. And I can check that by going forward. 69 plus 100 is 169, right? Remember, I'm looking for the distance between these two. So I'm at 69. I'm not at 48 yet. If I can't take another 100 away because I'm not 100 away, right? So I'm going to use the 10. Get my drag tool. I'm going to drag 69. I'm going to take a 10 away just from this 5. I'm going to go back 10. I'm going to get to 59. I'm not to 48 yet. Let's take a 10 away. Can I take a 10 away? Let's see. Drag tool. I'm going to take another 10 away. 59. I'm going to go back 10. I'm just changing the value in the tens place by 1, right? Remember that pattern. You see how it's going to be helpful. So now I'm at 49 on the number line. Notice the only thing that's changing is the tens place because I'm going back by 10. All right? Now I'm at 49 and I want to get to 48. What do I need to do? If I take another 10 away, I get to 39. I don't want to do that. So let's try 1. What is 49 minus 1? 48. That's the number I need to get to, right? So I don't have my answer yet. My answer is this distance. All of these steps I took are the answer. So how many hundreds did I take? There are no hundreds here, but there's 100 right here. So I took 100. How many tens? 1 10, 2 tens, 2 tens. How many ones? 1. So this is the answer. The difference in this space between 48 and 169, the difference in the number of people in this story. So 121 more families had picnics on Saturday than Friday. So that's a way to use the number line and just go back in hundreds and then in tens and then in ones to easily find a value, a difference between one value and another value. Pretty cool, isn't it? So just do your best on these parts and we will be. So for today's journal, I'm going to give you 10 minutes because you see what you're going to have to do. All right? Use those manipulatives. The manipulatives on the slide will tell you which ones to use. When you come back to the main meeting in 10 minutes, don't worry if you're not done. Save it to draft. We're going to work some of those together. All right? I just want to see where you are using those manipulatives to use place value blocks and the number line. Skip counting forward or back by hundreds, tens, and ones. All right? Place value is important. See you in 10 minutes. If you're just getting here, you should be going to your Seesaw journal and doing now. You probably need to click on that video and review what you're going to be doing in your warm-up activity. That's what we just did in class. If you're just getting here, please preview that video before you start your warm-up activity. Just a reminder, you will probably not finish your warm-up activity. Save to draft, and we will do it together, what you haven't done. While you're working, remember to use those manipulatives. You have about 4 minutes remaining. Do not worry if you do not finish. Just do your personal best. Remember, you are to read the word problem first and see the story in your head. You need to understand what's happening, and then the manipulatives they're asking you to use are going to give you kind of a clue if you're subtracting or adding, right? Or comparing. I will see you back here in 4 minutes, Tigers. 4 minutes. Continue to work. Two minutes remaining. 2 minutes remaining. Less than 1 minute remaining. Save to draft or submit if you are completed. Return to the meeting. Return to the meeting. Save to draft. Save to draft. Return to the meeting. Save to draft. Return to the meeting. When you return to the meeting, camera's on so I can see that you're back. Return to the meeting. Camera's on. Thank you to those of you that are already back. I should see that you have saved to draft. If you have not saved to draft, tap on that seesaw so you don't lose your work. All right, make sure you save to draft. Time is up. Return to meeting. Time is up. Return to meeting. Camera's on. Hello, welcome back from that warm-up. I know that was challenging. I meant it to be challenging. All right? We have been practicing with place value for a week and a half now, and I really see that you got the concepts that we're going to review right now, these terms, but I really see that you got it. So we want to extend what we know and show you what's going to come next in place value. And I want to show you that in word problems, the most important thing is that we see the story in our head. We understand what's happening in the story before we consider the numbers, all right? And you'll see that in the warm-up and in your independent practice today, that's going to be very important. The most important thing in reading is comprehension. Whether you're in math or science or art, you need to comprehend, you need to understand it, all right? So let's talk about a few vocabulary terms, and then we're going to look at some of those problems you just attempted. We're going to do them together because I noticed in the warm-up we struggled a little, but that's okay. We're in this together, all right? So I'm going to do a couple of them for you because your independent practice is very similar, all right? So let's talk about first the math terms we've been talking about. Base 10. In your warm-up and in your independent practice today, you're using base 10 blocks. You're using base 10 block to compare items, right? Or to start with an amount and take away because something happened in the story. Maybe he cut down those trees. Maybe we planted more seeds. All right? So base 10, once again, the term base 10 simply means a number system that has the digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And all of the numbers are made up of those digits, right? And what's important, what gives them value, is the place that they're in. And that's what we're talking about this week with place value. Another term we used this week is expanded form. And expanded form, as we learned and practiced yesterday, is simply showing the value of each digit in a number. And you will notice in some of those stories or words, they used expanded form to show you the value. All right. And so they wanted you to think in expanded form that it's really just a value, right? Expanded. The value of each place, of the digit in each place. Excuse me. And then standard form is simply understanding that when you're given a number, you understand that it's made up of digits that are in places, right? So written in digits using commas for every 3 places. Most important thing is place value when you're looking at a number. It's made up of digits, but what is their value based on their place? And then word form. In some of those word problems, they, instead of giving you a number, they could have given you the number in words, right? And you should understand that it's the same value, whether it's in words or digits, okay? So now we're going to talk about some of the struggles I just noticed you faced in Word on the Street. While you were working the problems on your own, I noticed which ones gave you the most trouble, and so we're going to solve them together today, all right? So I don't want you to go back to your warm-up until after you have seen this, and that's why I wanted you to save it to draft, because I think in doing it together, you'll have a more clear understanding of how to solve the problems, all right? So here we go. This is a walkthrough of the most challenging we had today, all right? And that's based on the drafts you turned in. So this is what I noticed first. Word on the street. So we are going to use our number line and skip back until we find the number we're comparing to, all right? Remember we did this once already. This is probably a new concept for you, but I really want you to practice it if you can. So when we get into subtracting, you notice it's just the difference between two numbers. All right, it's no mathematical new formula. It's just a difference or space between two numbers on a number line, okay? The amount of space that something is larger or smaller than, all right? So for this problem, we have last week, 142 bluebirds flew by the park. This week, 276 bluebirds flew by. How many more, comparing how many more bluebirds flew by this week than last week? We already see the value of 276 on the number line, yes? So this week, that's how many flew this week. We want to compare that to 142. All right, so we're going to use our skip count manipulatives. And remember, we can skip back, can't we? If we understand place value. So I'm going to go back, starting at 276. All right, go with me here. And we're going to go back 100. That's my largest place value. So if I go back, I'm at 276, and I go back just in the hundreds place. 2 minus 1 is 1. So I'm going to have 176. My other digits aren't changing. So that's where I am now on the number line, okay? 176. If I go back another 100, I'm going to be at 76. So I can't go back another 100, okay? So let's go back the next largest place value. I'm going to go back, I'm going to go back 10. So 176, go back 110 is 166. The other digits aren't changing. Remember what we've been practicing. Now you see why it was important to practice that many times, all right? So I'm at 166. I'm trying to get to 142. That other value they gave us, right? I'm not there yet. I can get there, can't I? Let's go back another 10. Can we go back another 10? 166 minus 10. 6 minus 1 is 5. 6. 156. I'm almost there, aren't I? I'm getting to 152. Can we go back another 10? Let's see. If I go back another 10, I'm at 1. Here's the tens place. 46. My ones, I haven't gone back any ones. So notice my ones haven't changed at all, have they? All right. Place value is important. Now I'm at 146. If I go back another 10, I'm going to be at 136. I can't go there. I'm only going to 142. So I'm going to go back using my ones. If I go back 1, I'm at 5. We're almost there, right? And then I'm going to go back another 1. And I'm going to be at 144. Then I go back another 1. And I'm at 143. And I probably should use a smaller marker on the screen, right? But I think I'm going to make it. And then I'm going to come off the number line, but that's okay. And then I'm going to go back 1 more because look how many I am away. And then where am I? Then I'm at 142, and that's where I want to be, right? I'm at 142, and that's the number they wanted me to get to. Pretty cool, right? I could have started at 132 and counted up that way, and it will be exactly the same, all right? So my answer is not 142. I need to find the difference in these two numbers. How many more, right? So my answer is all of these steps I took. But I don't have to say 1 plus 1 plus 1. I don't have to do that. I'm just going to look at how many hundreds. How many hundreds did I go back? Here's 100. That's 1. Just 1. So I got that. How many tens? 1, 2, 3 tens. How many ones? 1, 2, 3, 4 ones. So the difference is 134. And that's how you use skipping back using place value and your understanding of place value to compare numbers. We also call that subtracting, but this is the concept. This is why there's that many spaces between 142 and 276, and we just proved that by going back. Could we start at 142 and go forward? Absolutely. It's still going to be 134. If you don't believe me, try it. go the other way. All right? Start with the ones and build up until you get 6 ones. Remember, you're just building up. You're not starting at number 1. You're starting at 142 to 143 to 140. You can go this way. So I could go plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, plus 1 until I get to 6. And then I can go, I want to change my 4 to a 7. So I want to go plus 10, plus 10, plus 10, right? And then I want to get to, now I'm at 176. I want to get to 276. I just add plus 100. It's the same thing. Place value is important. The first thing we do in Word on the Street is read the words. Lena loves crosswalk duty. She crosses 658 students in the morning. She crosses 421 students after school. How many more students cross in the morning? So the question I'm trying to answer is how many more students cross in the morning? And we are going to be comparing. What are we comparing? We are comparing the number of students that cross in the morning with the number of students that cross in the afternoon or after school, right? So we are going to use base 10 blocks to compare these items. And we're going to do it just like we did in the last comparing when we had the race car. We had the 10s and we built the starting and then we drug out what we didn't need, right? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build the first value. So you see on the screen that I have built using base 10 blocks a model of 658 students. So the blocks on the screen represent 658. I want to compare that to 421 students. You will notice on my screen, I don't have much space left, especially with these really fun graphics, right? So I'm not going to build 428 and then look at them to compare them. Remember what we did before when the character planted trees and then chopped some down. I'm just going to remove the students, the amount of students she had after school, okay? So I'm going to remove 4 hundreds. And when I say remove them, I could drag them up here, but I don't want to do that. What I want to do is just cross them off so I know I'm subtracting them to compare. So 1, 2, 3, 4 hundreds, 2 tens, 1, 2, and 1, 1. All right? So the blocks that I did not cross off are the difference. All right? I crossed off 421. So they both have 421, but 658 has more, doesn't it? So I want to know how many more students. So I'm simply going to look at what's left. All right, and I'll use this fun sparkly marker to say I have 1, 2 hundreds. Do you see that? 1, 2, 3 tens, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ones left. So the answer to how many more students, these students crossed in the morning because she had more cross in the morning. Isn't that a cool way to use place value blocks to compare? I hope that helps you to finish your math warm-up. Word on the street. First thing we do is we read the words. I notice that on this page, I'm going to use skip counting to add. All right? The town had so much rain, roads had to be closed. On Monday, 176, look at that number down there, roads were closed. On Tuesday, 145 roads were closed. How many total roads were closed? I see on the road, they already have 176, and that represents the number of roads that were that were closed on Monday because of the rain, right? On Tuesday, some more roads closed. So I first need to get a picture in my head of the story. What's happening? Well, they told me 145 roads were closed. I need to find out how many altogether. So I'm going to add 145 more using my skip counting. So I'm going to add 100. So 176 plus 100 more. I'm just changing the hundreds place to 276. It's not the final answer because I have some more to add, right? If I'm going to add 145, I need to add 4 tens. Am I done with my tens? No, I need one more 10 because it says 145 and 145 has. So I'm at 316. Am I done? Goodness, no. I need to add 145. So I still need to add 5 ones, right? $16, $17, $18, $19, $20, $21. So I have 321. Notice I didn't write each one. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I just started at 316, 317, 318, 319, 320, 321. So I just counted on once I get to the ones. I don't want to do that in the tens place because look what happened. I went into the 300s, didn't I? So in the ones place, you can add the ones there on the number line and then just add on. All right? Little tricky, but I promise you place value is going to help you. So 321 was the total roads that were closed. And just like we've been comparing numbers using the strategy, I guarantee if you add the number of steps we took right here, it's going to total 145. Here's 100, 4 tens, and 5 ones. Okay, that was a lot of work, Tigers, but that's okay. I wanted to walk you through it before you went and did it. Your practice for today, Paradise Place Value. Let's go back. My video's a little frozen up, but that's okay. We're going to get through this positivity, right, Tigers? Okay, so in Paradise Place Value, this is your practice. I want you to finish your warm-up, and your practice activity is very similar, meaning almost the same. So if you see these base 10 blocks, I want you to solve the word problem using base 10 blocks the way I showed you, okay? So what manipulatives are on the screen are going to give you an answer on what you should use to solve the problem, all right? So you'll notice on this one, you see the tools to skip count forward. So you're going to use the skip counting forward by hundreds, tens, and ones. Remember, place value is important. The same way we did. For your exit ticket, you can use any of the strategies we used. You see, you do not have manipulatives here. That doesn't mean you can't use a number line and skip forward by 100 or by tens or by ones. Make sure you're only skipping forward or backwards by hundreds, tens, and ones, because then you just count the number of hundreds you skipped, the number of tens you skipped, and the number of ones you skipped, all right? You can also use base 10 blocks on here. You just draw them, all right? So for your exit ticket, you can choose any strategy you want. Remember, on your practices, I want to see you using the blocks that they chose. On your exit ticket, all you have to do is drag the wise owls over for the correct answer. I want to see some work, all right? So I don't only want to see the answers next to the problems. I want to see how you solve them, okay? You have many, many strategies now. Show me how you solve them. Most important thing is understand the problems. All right? Good luck, Tigers, and Toodaloo. You know what to do. You should already be in your Seesaw journal. All right? I'm going to pull small group right now, goal group. Quickly, I'll meet with all groups at once right now. Let's meet together to work these together. All right? I know it's a challenge, Tigers. Tigers one, Tigers all. Tigers always standing tall.